The South Florida Bulls with its largest lead so far very early on today. 15-9, the lead over the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Jessica Dixon living up to the billing so far with 6 early points.
Leading the way with all scores. Like the way that she's gone to the hoop quickly. We talked about how she leads the run in transition, just her nose for the basket. 6 points. The toughest thing for a defender out when they've got Jessica Dixon is if you slack off of her, she's got the presence to take that jumper up from the outside. If you play her tight, she's quick enough to get around you.
And she's in pretty good company here at the University of South Florida, the all-time leading scorer for women. And she's closing in on the scoring title, period. Trailing Charlie Bradley, and apparently if she averages about 17 points per game for the rest of the season, she will break that record.
Plenty of basketball left for the South Florida Bulls. Big board by the Bulls and looking quickly, filling the lanes in transition. Notre Dame trying to get back and traveling violation call.
The second turnover tonight on USF. Diane Packer into the ballgame for the first time for USF.
And I think that timeout was perfect for Notre Dame on the contrasting side, because now they know what the first 5 minutes of this game is about as far as the tempo that the Bulls want to set and how quickly they need to get back in transition.
Battle for the ball inside. It's a jump ball. It will stay with Notre Dame. Erica Williamson into the ball game now for Notre Dame, along with Melissa Leckleitner. Notre Dame to inbound. Notre Dame without its leading scorer, Sherelle Allen, on the bench with 2 personal fouls. Gaines on the drive. How about that with the left hand?
Super move and go into the hoop by Gaines, and I like the way these guards, they're headsy. They know they have that nose to the hoop. Once again, you cannot have a lapse here.
Webb to Miller, and it's Miller time for the score. 6-point lead, USF. Dixon on the steal and score 8 points. Jessica Dixon.
Muffin McGraw wisely taking that timeout to stop the bleeding here. Talk about the quick hands of the South Florida Bulls coming out of that timeout. Picking up Dixon with a nose for the hoop, anticipating where that pass was going to go into, and then quickly going the other way. Dixon already with 8. She's going to close in quickly on double figures here before the first half is out, no question. Long arms, nice and tall, very slender. May have to beef up a little bit, just a little bit weight-wise to play at the next level.
You know, Leah,
she has the entire package.
I'm sorry, Leah, but we have talked so much about Notre Dame's defense, but so far it has been USF's defense, forcing 3 turnovers and already with 3 steals.
Well, and this is the toughest thing when you come into the environment here at the Sun Dome that Coach Jose Fernandez has set his mindset to since he's took over this program. We're going to get in the passing lanes, we're going to be quick, we're going to be tenacious, get after the basketball, and really make things difficult for our opponents to come in.
Notre Dame able to beat the pressure. Pass inside to Williamson. Beautiful play.
2 points.
Erica Williamson.
Nicely done, and I think for Notre Dame, in order to chip away and establish their game, they have to utilize their height on the inside, but can't go back and forth. Utilize their height on the inside, try to keep that ball, pounding that ball inside.
Diane Packer with the 3-point bomb, and Notre Dame coming right back, and the foul is called on Miller. Miller attempted the block, but she's called for the foul. Miller, one of the top shot blockers in the Big East, had 6 blocks earlier this season against Cincinnati.
Well, the Bulls trying to get back as the Irish trying to answer in transition, and did a pretty good job. They had the numbers answering back and picking up. But Williamson with the opportunity here at the line, extremely focused as she comes in. One thing about Muffin McGraw's teams, they've always done a super job and been near the top, if not on the top of the conference from the free throw line.
Stephanie Sarosi coming in for USF, replacing Miller. Miller leads with her first foul. Williamson, a 55% free throw shooter. South Florida with the lead at 22-15, 13:59 left to go first half. USF looking to bounce back after a loss of 62-36 and coming averaging 76 points per game. So that 36 points, well below their season average.
That was one of those nights that any coach wants to erase, but it is a learning experience. You always take something away from that experience.
Grace can't hit the three. Notre Dame on the rebound. Excellent passing there for Notre Dame, but it looked like Grace didn't have her feet under it. She put up the three-point shot.
Rushed the shot a little bit, had a little bit more time.
Irwin on the drive. Beautiful pass to Barlow. And the passing right now with this group of Notre Dame doing extremely well.
Irwin did a nice job reestablishing herself. You really want to try to catch and shoot, but instead of rushing that jumper from the outside, gain her composure to find her teammate on the inside. Good job.
Foul is called on Notre Dame. The foul is called on Talia Grace. The Big East Conference maintains a comprehensive site on the World Wide Web at www.bigeast.org. Log on for the latest information on all Big East sports, including women's basketball scores, highlights, stats, and polls. USF basketball, 30 seconds on the shot clock. Inside it goes. Sarosi has it knocked away by Williamson.
And that's where Steph's going to have to bring a couple things into her repertoire. When she turned and she looked, she knew Williamson was there. Think about going up and under, put that ball on the floor. She'll get accustomed to it in her experience here in the Big East.
Sarosi nearly steals it. Ball on the floor. Jessica Dixon in USF. Here's Grace. Tries to split the defense. She's called for traveling. The third turnover for USF.
Didn't see the two Notre Dame jerseys right there, but she saw them very quickly when she turned with that basketball and tried to step towards the hoop.
You know, Jose Fernandez, his team is shooting 62% so far. Perfect for the three-point land. Notre Dame has to feel pretty good about only being down by 5.
Absolutely.
Their leading scorer, Sherelle Allen, on the bench with 2 personal fouls. Inside it goes. Back out. Notre Dame on the drive. Gray call for traveling. Turnover number 5 on Notre Dame.
And that just comes from the pressure. You're speeding everything up. The tempo of this game is so fast right now for these younger players from Notre Dame. You just want to catch your breath for a second. And you can't really, because all of a sudden there's a South Florida player right there with her hands up.
A whistle away from the basketball. Pushing inside. The foul is called on Sarosi, so a missed opportunity for USF. Notre Dame will get the basketball. 14th foul on USF.
Substitution for Bulls coming into the game, number 32, Delaney Miller.
Delaney Miller back in for USF. That will go to, that will stay with Notre Dame. Aggressive defense by USF. So the USF Bulls come out firing the basketball, shooting 62%, but Notre Dame hanging in, only down by 5.
I'm Emeka Okafor, college graduate, Charlotte Bobcat, and proud recipient of the Aeropostale Big East Scholar Athlete of the Year. Graduating with a 3.76 GPA and a degree in finance in 3 years, I balanced books and basketball. Aeropostale gives out more than $300,000 in scholarships to both students and student athletes. It wasn't and still isn't all about the rebounds.
The 23 flavors in every Dr. Pepper add up to so much taste. 23 is always on the tip of your tongue.
And so, at the end of the 23rd quarter, it's all tied up, 23-23.
X is the square root of Y. True or false? Karen.
23?
Dr. Pepper. With 23 flavors and one mind-blowing taste, there's more to it.
Hey, what's up?
It's D-Wade.
I can use some help.
It's heavy.
Yes, it is. My dream is to leave the world a better place than I found it. Good job, buddy. Yo! Hey, Coach.
The new 2007 Lincoln Navigator with enough room for a basketball team. Life's calling. Where to next?
Welcome back to Tampa, Florida, and there is a young lady that Muffin McGraw would love to have in uniform today.
Tore her ACL. That's Lindsay Schrader, the top rebounder and scorer for the Irish last season. Tore her ACL in October and had surgery, is out for this season. Tough task of having to sit there and watch your teammates. Believe me, the opportunity to watch and see things a little bit differently will make her even better next season when she comes back.
How about that pass? Barlow couldn't quite grab the handle of that, but Erica Williamson had a good idea. Still, it goes out of bounds. Turnover number 6 for the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. USF with the 5-point advantage. Shooting so far, USF with the advantage, but Notre Dame not that far behind. Inside it goes. Miller on the drive, and she gets a roll.
Well, and the Bulls have had an answer out, pretty balanced, both inside and outside right now, and that has to be a concern for Coach Muffin McGraw. You never want to allow the ball to get into the paint that easily and just turn catch and shoot.
Both Miller and Dixon lead the way for USF with 8 points. USF very aggressive defense. 10 on the shot clock. Williamson inside on the rebound try, goes out of bounds, and that will stay with Notre Dame. Very interesting. About 4 minutes ago, Notre Dame brought in a completely new 5, and Notre Dame has played very well with this group. They're basically all backup players, but they've done very well with this group on the floor.
Very balanced. Williamson she's having a difficult time trying to establish her placement inside the paint, but she's at least being patient.
Once again, that is Barlow inside, getting her own rebound and putting it home. 7 points for Barlow, the leading scorer for Notre Dame. Again, she came off the bench. She came in averaging 11 points, one of 4 players for Notre Dame, averaging in double figures.
And Barlow's another player from Muffin McGraw, extremely versatile too. So if things aren't going right with 1 or 2 players, she has the ability to move Barlow where she needs her to give that answer, and she didn't there with that shot in that basket.
Chichi Opalike getting her own rebound, and Packer will try another 3. Can't get a roll. She'd already hit a 3-pointer earlier in the contest. Quickly up the floor, and how about that defense? Shantia Grace all over the floor. That goes out of bounds. It will stay with Notre Dame, but still tough defense by USF. And coming into the ball game now, Melissa D'Amico.
And this is the difference from playing from the high school level to the college level too for the freshmen for the Notre Dame team. You think that seam is pretty big. Well, it's not as big when you get into Big East play. It really narrows down quite a bit, and you have to make sure that your passes are on the mark, they're sharp, and you're aware of where your opponent is at all times. Jessica Jackson into the ballgame for the first time for USF. Again, very aggressive defense by USF, and turnover number 7 on Notre Dame. And the foul is called on Notre Dame.
Foul, Notre Dame's 23. Melissa Whitling.
5 team fouls on the Fighting Irish. And Notre Dame doing a little bit of full court pressure. The ball goes down, traveling violation, 5th turnover on USF, and the crowd here at the Sun Dome thought that was a foul by Notre Dame, and the officials say no. Notre Dame will get the basketball, and I think Jose Fernandez thought there was a foul involved.
Well, right in front of them too, and the pressure on Notre Dame there, and they really they're doing a nice job picking up the tempo defensively. They just got to finish underneath the hoop when they have those opportunities. Take advantage of their opportunities once they get that turnover.
24-19 USF. USF has led all the way in this contest. Jackson inside to Miller. Miller on the turnaround off the glass. Miller, the leading scorer in the ball game, in double figures with 10 points.
She made it a little bit difficult for herself. She actually had the path to the hoop and turned the opposite way.
D'Amico inside, tries the left hand. That's short. Pulled out by South Florida. Shantia Grace quickly to Jackson. She stops and pops for 3. That is short. Jessica Dixon tried to get the offensive rebound, and she's called for the foul. First foul on Jessica Dixon. We're in Tampa, Florida. Our Big East game of the week. The South Florida Bulls and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Al Keck along with Lisa Secundo. Big East basketball at its best. Jessica Dixon, 8 points so far for South Florida. The leading scorer in this ball game is Delaney Miller with 10.